Hey, what's up, traders? This is the watch list video for Thursday, March 31st, last trading day of March, tomorrow. So we finally went down a little bit. This market's been just stupid strong. I'll show you the intraday on the SPY. So we gapped down a little bit, tried to make a run, and then it was mostly just a slow afternoon bleed lower than this really late day pop for whatever reason. But the market, in my opinion, still really, really resilient. A couple things to show you if you didn't make it to the chat room today. NEGG. I called an opening range breakout. This vertical line right here is the open. So it popped a little bit, came back down. It's a recent high flyer. Yesterday's high right there. So you kind of picture it right there. I figured if we break the high day, we might take out yesterday's high as well. And it went from the 715-ish entry pretty quickly over 8. That is one highlight from chat. Dylan made a great call, Dylan M in the chat room. And that was on RIVN, which Lucid was already making new highs of the day. And Dylan's idea, thinking over $54, which is about where that arrow is, with the high of day still slightly above that, and yesterday's high above that. We love stacked catalysts, and we love whole number inflection points. And it was in a space that was a running, right? EV play. So Dylan put the whole puzzle together and put out, there's a screenshot of his post in chat, thinking over 54 with the high of day and yesterday's high stacked above. I love that. And it popped pretty quickly from 54. I think it almost made it to 57. Let's get rid of that one and show you one more. Really nice call by Dylan. Love the teamwork in there. And this wasn't a huge gainer, but percentage-wise, it wasn't bad. I called CLVR over the high of day, and that's when it was probably down here. The high of day is right there. So there's the high of day break. I think it was 288. And it went to a little over 320, which percentage-wise is pretty nice. And I actually made a decent amount of money on that one. And then the pot stocks rolled over later, but who cares? Because as day traders, we rent them, we don't buy them, right? I'm in cash every night, make our money between the bells. So anyway, there's the SPY. What are we watching for tomorrow? SNOA is a little bit interesting. It had a good volume gapped up, maybe over today's high tomorrow if that happens. I'm going to keep that one on watch. FRGE. Kevin P in chat gave some tips. It was kind of a quiet entry thing, but he gave some tips. Hey, everybody watch this one. It looked really good. And that was, I want to say it was, I'll show you 5-minute candles. And I never did trade this one, by the way, but I think it was still below 25 when he pointed out the daily, how nice it looked. And who would have thought it would go all the way up over 44, right? I never traded this once. I bid a couple times on pullbacks. Didn't get filled, and so it's just one of those things. But it's really, really extended. I hate to even have it on the watch list for tomorrow, but as a day trader, when something makes a massive move like that, really we want to have it on a chart somewhere on one of our screens, for the next week, week and a half maybe. So anyway, it'll go on there tomorrow. I doubt I'll trade it tomorrow, but anything can happen. Maybe we get an A+ setup. DOGZ, nice volume. I think this popped on earnings. Topped out right at $6. Certainly worth keeping an eye on tomorrow. PIK just goes back on watch. It's kind of chopping around sideways. It did have an afternoon little volume spike, but kind of just came right back down. But to me, it's still coiling and still has a chance, so I'm going to keep that on a chart. MULN. Man, I can't remember who. I think Mike Z posted the news. Correct me if I'm wrong. If it was somebody else, I apologize. I tried to get in before the high of day break, which was 237. And I went ahead and did a market order, and it was trading right at 237. I actually got filled at 242. But this is something, I already had this on a chart because I was looking for a bounce because this thing's been so strong and then it hasn't broken its early high in several days. So I already had it on a chart, and I had it on my trading platform. And even then, I only got one lot, if you will, and it got filled at 242. If I could have caught that under the high of day break, Tokyo style, I would have clicked buy probably 5 or 6 times and had a really nice sized position, but I only got filled once. And I think my best sell might have been in the 280. So I didn't handle that really well, but I still make good money on it, and it was a neat little heads up. I never even had a chance to call it in chat as a Tokyo because it was gone that quick. But like I said, I got a little piece of it. Anyway, the daily, pretty interesting. Had this crazy move, came back down to the 20-day, and had big volume today, had nice news today, and a pretty strong close. So let's definitely keep our eyes on that one for the next several days. LIT and lithium plays were really strong. I actually called a trade in this one. I think over 940 right there. I think I So, yeah, that was it. Earlier on, it topped at 943, put in a lower high at 939 ish, and that's when I noticed it because I had lithium plays on watch because Biden said something about emergency something or other, and anyway, the lithium plays went nuts. Just leave it at that. And I just stumbled across this one was getting unusual volume. I didn't even really know this stock existed, and I looked at it, it had like 2 or 3 million in the float and was getting volume. So anyway, long story short, I called it back here through 940, thinking a high day break might get it going, and it went pretty quickly through 10. I know a lot of you got that. And I think it's worth watching tomorrow, especially if the lithium plays get going again. This is the lowest float one that I found out there. And maybe the whole number 10 comes into play and all that stuff. So let's keep that one on watch. All right. IGMS had the big rip yesterday. Today, I think overnight they did an offering, but still holding up pretty well. So I'm looking for a third day play there. Quiet inside day to day. AGRI goes back on bounce watch. It had this big run, but it's round tripped, which makes me like it a lot less. I like partial retracements, right, on something strong. But at the same time, you have the support of the 20-day and price support right there in this area. So, and if anything comes up with in the news about possible food shortages and the food plays get going, this was kind of a go-to for traders. So it's in a good spot for a potential bounce. HOOD, which is Robinhood, had the big rip yesterday. Quiet inside day today. Just looking for a third day play there. ALLG was a big ripper recently, much like FRGE today. And we've had a nasty reversal yesterday, another red day. I'd like to see another red day, to be honest with you, but I am going to start watching it for a potential bounce tomorrow, only with a proper A+ intraday setup. AMC had the massive squeeze over the last day and a half, and then now we've got a red day. Again, this is another one. I'd like to see another red day. Kind of the same thing with GameStop. They generally run together. But anyway, I've just chosen to put this one between those two on watch. I'd love one more red day, but I'm going to put it on bounce watch for tomorrow, and we'll see if it gives a setup. LLL, I don't like this one all that much, but it meets some parameters, and here they are. Recent high flyer. Low floater, by the way, and it did pop on good earnings news, I believe, or no, a big collaboration deal or something. Anyways, there was big dollars thrown around in the headline. So you have a recent high flyer. It is a Chinese stock, I believe, and it's come back down to this buy zone between the 8 and the 20, and it bounced off this area last time. So you've got a lot of topping tails up here. It makes me like it a little less, but volumes come way back down. So it is in an area that I don't mind calling it as a bounce play, but it's not like a beautiful bounce play setup like some trades we've had this week. I'm thinking of PIK and NRSN yesterday was good too. Anyway, OEG is my last one, and it's gapping in after hours, I believe, on earnings. Trading at 230 as I'm talking right now. So if it's holding up in after hour or in pre-market, we'll certainly add that to the gap play list. We will also work together to find other gappers in the pre-market and add those to this list. Should be plenty to trade tomorrow. That's it for me. I'm done babbling. I'll see you in the chat room in the morning.